I was diagnosed last March of 2025, prostate cancer. I My course of treatment I decided on was to do ADT, androgen deprivation therapy, which cuts your testosterone, stops the stops the tumors from growing, and then after they stabilize you there, you do radiation. I did 28 treatments of radiation. So as I researched it, I realized, like, I looked at the radiation. I didn't think it would be the radiation part didn't worry me at all. They'd been doing it for years. They had it really down. What worried me was the ADT, what that was going to do to my body. Um, Weight gain, muscle loss. Think about it. You have no testosterone, right? Um, and so I said, okay, I had a game plan going into treatment. My ADT shot was May 28th. May 27th, I was at my field, my track at the high school. I did my usual 4 laps before school, but I'd stopped every half lap to do push-ups. So I said,
Wow.
all right, let me have a baseline going into this. And I was doing 8 sets of 50, so 400 push-ups. And what I was worried about with the ADT was the loss of muscle and all of this. And so I get the shot, and immediately I felt, and then I had written out exactly what I was going to do each day. As far as not like day by day, but I want to focus on my fitness, nutrition. I want to focus on my mindset. And I'm telling you, within like 2 weeks, that whole plan just went out the window because of how I just felt off. It's the
Yeah.
only way I can explain it. And anything I did physically, even walking up my driveway, my body would get this. I only call it a buzz. If you've ever worked out really hard, let's say you had to do yard work one day, and how many people, we don't really do yard work all the time. So you get
Right.
out for that big spring cleanup, and at the end of the day, your body feels buzzing. I mean, I felt like that just walking up the driveway. So something had
Wow.
changed dramatically, and I call it, and what I realized, I called it the fog of war, in that there are so many things that I knew were good for me, and I just couldn't put it together. It was really strange. Like some days I'd get out and walk, and other days I'm like, "Ah, I just don't have it. And I'd get down on myself. She wasn't really feeling good. Started putting the weight on because now I'm not walking as much. I had never really been someone who had a huge appetite. To me, food was just all right. I just need to eat to sustain myself. Now, all of a sudden, I was like, I couldn't stop eating. So it had really made a huge change in my body.
Wow.
I got through the radiation treatments by the end of October. So that ADT was in my system for about well, it's technically still in my system, but that 5 months, early on, I came to the realization that, you know what, I had this plan. I don't know what the hell is going on. I'm just going to get through this. Let me get through it. When I'm done with the treatments, then I'll deal with the consequences of what I've gone through. So I got through the radiation. First 2 weeks, same thing. I just wasn't feeling right. The only way I can put it. My girlfriend suggests we join a yoga studio, and I'm like, you know what? I think I need that. Maybe just some breathing, and you know, I thought yoga was more of like Om and a little
Yeah.
stretching, but we were doing some fitness yoga, so it really taxed me, and I realized that that was what I needed. That had helped me to start to feel better.
Mm.
The stretching, the breathing, the consistency. We were going about 5 times a week. And then I was out on a walk, and I thought, I went through this thing. I'm still, the symptoms of it, and the effects of it are still in my system. What would I do differently now that I'm starting to feel better? I can think a little bit more clearly. And I just started making notes every few days of like, hey, if I had to do this again, I would do this. I would do this. I would do this. And as I started to look at what I had, I'm like, maybe some other men, other men need this. Because when I was in my doctor's office, when the ADT started and then the radiation started, I was given a sheet of paper. Hey, here's some diet suggestions, and here's some exercise suggestions. That's it. And I realized, looking back, that my medical team, awesome. They were on top of everything. They really knew what they were doing, and they treated the disease. Right now, my blood work came back. My PSA level is less than zero point 0.1. So they did their job as far as curing my cancer.
Sure.
But there was a lot of the mindset stuff that was just not there. There was no, and they suggested, I didn't even suggest joining a support group. It was just like, here, here's this piece of paper, diet, and do some exercise. So I thought, I could probably do a much better job helping men who are going through this themselves. And so that's what I've been focusing on